Welcome back to Second and Short. It is April 19th, 2023. We are 8 days out from the NFL draft. We've got a ton going on in the MLB, almost through our first month in the MLB. So, tons to talk about across the MLB and NFL. We got, of course, the MLB recap. We're going to talk some news, talk a couple things that have happened throughout the weekend. We're going to update everybody on the statistical leaders around the leagues. So, NL, AL leaders in many of the statistics, hit some NFL news, talk a little bit about the draft, some of our favorite day 2, day 3 draft prospects. We're going to do a Do You Remember? And then we will get out of here. I've got Colin with me this week. Colin, you ready to get into it?
Let's get it.
All right, let's start in the MLB. I feel like the biggest news right now is that the Rays winning streak was ended. That's the biggest thing that's happened since our last episode. Came to quite the halt. Obviously, they lose their first game. They lose the next one as well against the Blue Jays. End up getting the win in game 3, and then they lose the series opener to the Reds. They're in a tough spot right now.
Yeah, it's definitely not something you want to see after starting 13-0, of course. But looking at it right now, they are absolutely blowing the Reds out.
It's actually
Um,
a final 10-0.
yeah, so I guess I didn't see the finish, but that's definitely a game that they were excited to have. Hopefully, getting back on track. Some of their hitters slipping on average, not sort of doing their jobs. Looking to get some people back in the lineup and pick up where they left off.
Yeah, and obviously there's a lot that we've learned about this team throughout this win streak. Of course, the Rays are a team that doesn't get a lot of spotlight, and they definitely had it for these first 2 weeks of the season. So, the world has been introduced to a lot of these young players, outside of like Wander Franco and maybe like Brandon Lau, some of the guys that were on the team during the World Series, things like that. We haven't really seen a lot of these guys. Like Taj Bradley came out, got the win tonight. He's a great young pitching prospect. They've got other guys all over the place, and I'm very happy with what I've seen from them. It's just a matter of kind of keeping it on track after these 3 losses.
Yeah, and two players that I want to shout out, really stepping up. Jeffrey Springs has been killing it, and then also Taylor Walls. Definitely two names that a lot of people didn't really know coming into the season. Well, now they know.
Yeah, definitely. The entire league really has been put on notice with the pitching rotation and the bullpen of the Rays for this entire season because they had a lot of guys show out so far.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're young, they're exciting. I'm definitely excited to see where it takes them this year.
Yeah, I'd like to hear your opinion on Fernando Tatis returning to the Padres. He's going to be activated on Thursday. He'll likely play. What do you think he adds to this team, and either good or bad?
Um, I think he adds problems. The yes, the Padres were off to shaky start right now. They're 7-7. Um, I think coming into this series with the Braves. Um, but he's a hothead. I mean, I don't know how his mental game improved while I mean, I still think it's ridiculous that he was playing while still serving a suspension. Um, but with Xander Bogaerts at short, are they going to move Xander to third, to
No.
second? Like, what's going to happen?
I think Tatis is going to go to the outfield, and he is certainly a liability out there. And you can't really put him at the DH spot because you have Nelson Cruz, and he's a guy that, though he's 42, needs to play pretty often. And yeah, maybe you can give Tatis some reps at DH, maybe a couple days a week, but you got to find a place for him, and there's certainly not one in the infield.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I just cannot see him playing the outfield. I mean, his defense was already a liability at shortstop. Everyone knows he's a great hitter, but his glove is just not what everyone says it is. He makes too many throwing errors, and if any backhands, he can't really stop.
Yeah, he struggles kind of across the board when it just comes to fielding a ball, whether it's in the infield or outfield. We saw in the handful of games he played in right field last season that he just was a liability out there. You're right. And, he can't track a ball as well as other outfielders. He just seems to struggle finding the ball out there. And then when he does find it, he's a liability just throwing it into the infield. So we're going to see the inconsistencies of Fernando Tatis kind of blown up kind of in front of us because there's a lot of opportunity for you to fuck up when you're in the outfield and you only get so many chances in a game.
Yeah, I totally agree. So we'll see how long, but I don't expect him to be in the lineup, like starting lineup, very long.
We'll see. Like, look, he's talented, and they're going to try and put him in the lineup, whatever that costs. But I just, I don't know. Like, I guess you could put Bogarts at second and take Ha-Seong Kim's probably playing second right now. Take him out of the lineup, but do you really want to do that? Like, Ha-Seong Kim's not a bad player, very good at getting on base, unlike Tatis, who you never know. But
Yeah,
it's just they're definitely in an interesting situation here.
yeah. Here's the thing. Do you think there's a chance they move Cronenworth out to a corner spot and move Machado to first?
Nah, Machado's glove's too valuable at third.
All right, good. I just wanted to get your opinion because I've definitely been seeing people like Padres fans wanting that just to get Tatis in the infield,
It's crazy.
and I just thought that move would be ridiculous.
They might as well just teach him how to play first.
Ah, nah, still rather have Crony there.
Oh yeah, me too. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Braves because they've had one hell of a week, a 7-game win streak going into tonight, and we've seen a bunch of guys. Max Fried came back. A few guys have just had some solid outings. Who do you think's kind of been the star of this last week throughout this win streak?
Uh, I'm gonna give it to Olson just because he puts us in position to win games at the plate. He's cutting down on his strikeouts, putting the ball in play, and just making our offense alive. But also Ozzy, who's been killing it at the plate.
Yeah, Acuna has also done a fantastic job, but not really just this week. He's been killing it throughout the season. So that's what we're used to with Acuna. To see Albies hitting pretty consistently, getting on base is very good. And then, yeah, Olson, seeing him get off to yet another hot start. He started off pretty hot last year. I think people kind of got blinded by how cold he got after that first month. But he's definitely looking really good, and it looks like he's made some minor adjustments, especially at the plate, that make me very happy with what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I also want to shout out just from the Kansas City series, Sean Murphy. He absolutely tore up the Royals this past week.
Yeah, and so Max Fried last night looked great. Got their first shutout of the season, which is crazy to think that we're 13-4 and we've only shut out a team once.
Yeah, I totally agree. But that's just, I mean, our pitching staff's definitely had their injuries, so we know we're gonna give up runs. But our offense is just so explosive that we just score more runs.
Yeah, and with how well Vaughn Grissom has played since he got brought up due to Arcia going to the IL, what happens when all of these guys come back? Because at some point, everybody's going to be healthy. Does this push Ozuna out of the lineup, but we're still paying him so much money? Does it push us to trade Ozuna, possibly for somebody in the league that's maybe on a bad contract but in better form on a losing team? I think there's a lot of options here. The problem is if you have Ozuna, you probably need to play him because you're paying him that much money.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would love to see Azuna gone. I mean, he's batting under 100 right now at the DH spot, and you just can't do that as a DH. Your job is to hit.
Yeah,
We already know he can't play defense, so there's no shot he's going out to the outfield. I could see when everybody comes back, either Vaughn or Orlando going out to the outfield. Um, yeah, with let's see, Rosario in the left. You
but
could,
then guys like Sam Hilliard and Kevin Pillar have put on decent displays. So it also comes down to them too. Like Sam Hilliard kind of deserves a spot in this lineup right now. In the games he's played, he's batting 296, a 424 on base percentage. Like that's the kind of numbers you want to see from an everyday outfielder. If you could throw Sam Hilliard, who has a fantastic glove, in left, I think we're forgetting that Michael Harris still has to come back to the squad as well. And so center field's going to be taken, right field's going to be taken. Arguably, Rosario, Hilliard, Ozuna, even Eli White or Kevin Pillar, they can all play left field. And it's just about, kind of testing it out for maybe a couple of weeks, starting a different guy every day, just see what happens. But it's going to be a very hard decision. And I think this is where we see how Brian Snitker wants to do this.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is probably Brian Snicker's dream, like, because our depth right now is insane.
Yeah, and having it in the outfield is awesome because we saw it in the season in 2021. We won the World Series, and I think we totally rode that off of outfield depth. And it really only came in at the trade deadline, but the fact that Adam Duvall could play some center field, and we brought in Soler, and we brought in Rosario and Jock Peterson after we lose Acuna. It just seemed like a lot of guys were willing to fill some roles, and in the outfield, guys get injured. It just happens. They get injured on the base paths because a lot of times they're speedy guys. They get injured out in the field because it's kind of the most physically demanding positions to play. And having outfield depth is super important. And from what I can see from this Braves team, all of these guys except Ozuna kind of deserve to be playing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to see where this takes us. I love how we're playing right now. I'm lost of words, sort of. I'm just excited.
Yeah, there's definitely things to be excited about with, Acuna batting 398. He's, I believe, leading the National League in hits right now. It's just crazy. And, Olson and Riley right behind him in the lineup. Olson's batting 299, 405 on base. Riley batting 317, 408 on base. Like, these guys are doing it right. Sean Murphy, 417 on base percentage. I couldn't ask for more. Even if he's going to go 0 for 4, like, if he's getting on base, I don't mind it.
Yeah, and it's not even that he's striking out. He's putting the ball in play, just hitting it to the wrong spot.
Yeah, big ground into a double play guy.
Big pop up to the catcher kind of guy.
Yeah. But yeah, there's plenty other teams to talk about right now. The Rangers, they unveiled their City Connect jerseys. I'm personally not a fan. I don't know how you feel about them.
I didn't like it. It's just
It
you can't
seems
really read
plain.
it. Yeah, it's. I just thought that it like the Atlanta Braves, they could have done so much more.
Yeah, and like I understand like the different intricacies and everything all around. Like the 421 thing and the Texas logo is fine. I don't hate it. I definitely don't love it. The patch on the arm is cool, but it just doesn't. I feel like there's other things you can do with, like Dallas Fort Worth area. There's so much. So I just feel like they kind of fell short with the opportunity they had, just like Atlanta did.
Yeah, I'm behind you on that one.
Um, I want to get your take on this quote here. Greg Maddox said this just the other day. He said, "Otani reminds you of Nolan Ryan. Then he reminds you of freaking Barry Bonds. He's both of those guys. I mean, he's got great stuff, and he can hit a home run with the best. Nobody else has done it before. I mean, the last guy who was, or sorry, I mean that the last guy who was maybe Babe Ruth. Nobody's been able to do what Otani's done. I think that seeing this appreciation of Otani from, because like we hear it all the time with the best hitters around the league and guys like that, but when you hear the appreciation from a pitcher who Greg Maddox obviously had to hit, he played in the National League, I believe his entire career, so he was definitely used to stepping up to the plate, and I can confirm he was not as good of a hitter as Shohei Otani.
Yeah, and it's hard not to compare Shohei Otani to just the best at both pitching and hitting. The dude's a freak on the field. He can come into a game, throw 9 innings, and have 12 strikeouts, and then he could also go 3 for 4 with 2 doubles and a bomb. Like it's hard to compete against that. The dude is a phenom at the moment.
Yeah, he's literally got like it's not even that he's a five tool player. He has every single tool. He can hit for power, he's got speed, he can play the outfield very well, he's got a cannon of an arm, he can strike you out, he can just absolutely humiliate you on the mound. It's absolutely insane what he's doing, and it's hard. Like it seems like every time we talk about Otani, we're just understating how good he really is.
Exactly. I remember watching an umpire cam footage of him on the mound, and I couldn't even see the ball.
Yeah,
The
guy
dude, the,
chucks.
the dude hums, and then he can throw his slider with 5 feet of break. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. Let's talk about Pablo Lopez real quick. Obviously, we've talked about him plenty because he's off to an insanely good start, but this hot start earned him a 4 year, $73.5 million extension with the Twins. This is big. He got traded there just in the offseason, off to a fantastic start, and the Twins have realized that, and they're going to lock him up.
Yeah. In the offseason, the Twins knew that Pablo was their guy. He's got 33 Ks right now in 1 month of baseball. The dude is lights out, and like I said, the Twins know they got their guy.
Yeah. His former teammate, though, Sandy Alcantara, and former NL Cy Young winner, seems to be rather inconsistent this season. It seems like he's still getting the strikeouts, but it looks like some teams just have his number. In his last two starts, he gave up 9 runs in 4 innings pitched and 5 runs in 6 innings pitched. That's just, you can't have that, especially not out of your ace, especially not out of the reigning NL Cy Young winner.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe the Cy Young got to his head. He came out, didn't really work as hard as he should have, and just came out thinking, "Oh, I'm just gonna shut everybody down." But he's getting humbled right now. So if he wants to repeat, he's got to step it up.
Yeah, just across this season, he's only started 4 games this season. A loss to the Mets on opening day. He gave up 3 runs, only pitched 5.2, and only had 2 strikeouts. And then gets the win in a complete game shutout. Only gave up 3 hits against Minnesota, and then a 15-3 loss to the Phillies, where he gave up the 9 runs, only had 4 strikeouts, and Arizona, another 5-0 loss where he gave up every single one of the runs, but he had 9 strikeouts, which, that's a silver lining, but 9 strikeouts doesn't do anything when, first of all, your offense sucks, but you give up 5 runs. It's not going to help you. The only thing he's not doing is walking.
Yeah, totally agree. You can have as many strikeouts, but if you're giving up hits and earn runs that is causing your team to lose, at the end of the day, no one's going to care about the strikeouts. So you could be in last place in your division, lead the league in strikeouts. How does that help your team?
Yeah. Let's talk about a guy that underperformed last year and seems to have stepped it up again this year, Garrett Cole. Dude, absolutely shit on the Twins over the weekend. 9 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts, 1 walk, 2 hits, no runs, gets the complete game shutout. Just absolutely dominant shit.
Yeah, he's looking lights out this year. Um, Definitely seems like he's found his way. All of his pitches are moving right now. Like he does not have an off pitch right now. Um, but the thing is, he just looks comfortable on the mound. Um, I know last year he got in his head a lot, hot head. Um, I think he got ejected and got on like a 2 week suspension last year. But he just looks calm, cool, and collected on the mound, which is what you want out of your ace.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what we've been waiting for because we all understand it's very hard to play for the Yankees. I think we get it. We see it for everybody. And the the New York media loves to hate on Garrett Cole and the New York fans love to hate on Garrett Cole, but he's just trying to shut him up this year, it looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you already talked about it, but that game between the Twins, an absolute pitching duel between Pablo Lopez and Garrett Cole. Ace versus ace, your guy came out on top.
Yeah, couldn't be
Garrett
happier.
Cole Garrett Cole is their guy. this season that they are relying to hopefully get them in the World Series this year.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen, though. But it's not the playoffs, so we don't know. Luis Castillo, though, continues to shine. 7 innings pitched, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, 9 Ks. Luis Castillo, another guy who just seems to, he has the change of scenery. He's settled in Seattle, and he's just absolutely killing it.
Yeah, and I've always been high on Luis Castillo. So when he was getting pooped on and struggling on the mound, it was rough. But I think he's found his home in Seattle. He feels comfortable with his group of guys, um, and that's how you pitch better. When you're comfortable having a fun time playing, you're not stressed about what's going on like in the dugout and on the field. So when you're less stressed, you're gonna pitch better. That's just how it works.
Yeah, the only thing right now causing the Mariners stress is that designated hitter spot. Good Lord. Their DHs through the 17 games have not recorded an RBI and are a combined 5 for 56, batting a 0.89.
I'll give him a Zuno.
Yeah, trade Ozuna for all of their designated hitters.
I'll take Luke Voigt. Hands down, I'll take Luke Voigt over Marcell Ozuna.
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, yeah, I'd take Luke Voigt.
I was about to say,
Luke
how's
Voigt
that even a
sucks,
debate?
though. They both suck.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, bases loaded, bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, 3-2 count. I'm trusting Luke Voigt 100 times more than I'm trusting Marcell Ozuna.
Maybe.
You're crazy.
Dude, I don't trust Luke Voigt. He sucks.
All right, let's move on.
All right, let me talk about the A's pitching staff because we're talking about people that suck. Just absolutely horrendous. They are 30th in just about every category for a rotation. They've got a 7.74 ERA, that's 30th, which is last, in case anybody didn't know. They've got a 58 ERA plus, 30th, 6.65 FIP, that's 30th, a 1.72 WHIP, that's also 30th, and so is everything else. The 16.6 K percentage, the 12.4 walk percentage, the 1.98 home runs per nine in a rather pitcher-friendly ballpark is crazy. 36.6% ground ball rate, that's also 30th, and they've got a negative 2.4 F-WAR across their pitching staff. That's also 30th. It's horrendous. Like, we knew the A's were going to be bad. Didn't think they'd be the worst at every single pitching statistic.
I mean, I had a feeling. I mean, is there? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is Kyle Muller their ace right now?
I believe so. It's like Kyle Muller, Shintaro Fujinami. I honestly, I don't think I can name another one.
So let's just take their most recent game with the Cubs, 10-1 loss. Kyle Muller, 4 innings pitched, gave up 13 hits, 6 runs, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Through
Yeah.
98 pitches through 4 innings, and right now over the season has an ERA of 7.23.
Yep. Tonight, their starter is Ken Waldichuk.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely explains their 3-14 start?
Indeed. They've yet to win 2 games against one team.
It's not going to get any easier because they
No.
got one more game with the Cubs, a series with the Rangers, and a series with the Angels.
Yeah. Not
So,
looking like fun.
their best chances against the Reds coming up at the end of April.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and say it. They'll be lucky to win 60 games.
60 is a stretch.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's time to get Billy Bean back in the front office.
We need some money ball from the A's. Let's see it. All right. Anything else you've got for the MLB recap, Colin?
Yeah, everyone's got to keep an eye out on that three-headed monster in the NL West. Arizona, San Diego, Dodgers. That, I think, at the end of the season is going to come down 1 game separation between all three.
Oh, okay. Dude, I love the Diamondbacks. I've been high on them since before the season started, and they're really making me look smart.
Yeah, they're looking good right now.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Zach Gallen is
Zach
stepping up.
Gallen, Corbin
he's-
Carroll.
It's it's gonna be an interesting season,
Right
let me
now they're
tell
up
you.
7-3 on the Cardinals.
Yeah, and that's not easy, man. The Cardinals are good.
Yeah, not good enough to be over 500, but they're good.
Yeah. Oh well.
All right, anything else you got?
Uh oh yeah, one more thing. Marlins surprising start 9-8. Big help from Luis Arias and Yuli Gurriel. Just
Yep.
I did not expect them to be 9-8, to be honest.
Yeah, I didn't either, especially with the struggles that we've seen from Alcantara. I think Jazz missed a game or two. He came out, played hero, crushed a 3-run home run tonight. Edward Cabrera getting the win. I know me and Colin have nightmares of Edward Cabrera in MLB The Show.
Yeah, the dude's a freak. Absolute freak.
Yeah,
But
MLB The Show. What was that? 21. MLB The Show
oh yeah.
21 Future Stars card. Ugh.
Yeah, that sinker. Whew.
I definitely got no hit in a ranked seasons game by him. I'll admit it.
All right, enough Diamond Dynasty talk.
All right, let's get into some statistical leaders around the league. This all as of um, April 17th, which was yesterday's games. We'll start with the home run leaders in each league. In the NL, tied at the top, Pete Alonso and Patrick Wisdom with 8. That's a fantastic start for both, especially Patrick Wisdom.
Yeah, Patrick Wisdom surprised me because he was off to a very slow start, and just the past week he has been absolutely mashing. And I think what 6 home runs out of the last 8 days.
Yeah, something like that. Something ridiculous.
But yeah, I mean, you can expect Pete Alonso to be toward the top in home runs all season, but that's all he's gonna do.
Yeah, and then in the AL, kind of surprising to me, Rafael Devers leads it with 7. Kind of surprised to not see Aaron Judge up here.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Judge had that opening day home run, but Rafael knows he's gonna have to step up for that Boston team, especially with Duvall going out. He's got a lot of ground to cover on the offensive side.
Yeah, for sure. And then let's talk hits. Acuna leading the National League in hits with 28. That's a pretty solid number there.
Yeah, he's. It seems like he's back to his old self. Everything on him looks lights out. But over in the AL, rocking with him, Bo Bichette also having 28 hits.
Yeah, both of them looking very good. And I think Boba Fett is kind of like, it's what, third season now? Fourth season in the MLB? He's definitely settled in. He's playing exactly like what we thought he would be, which is a consistent hitter at the plate with a solid glove at short.
Yeah, he's definitely feeling a lot more comfortable. Just 'cause I mean, all the cameras sort of going away from him because definitely when he entered the league, being a relative of Dante, a lot of eyes on him. But now that the pressure is sort of lifted off the shoulders, he can just get comfortable and play his game.
Yeah, don't even get me started on the hair.
Yeah, it's crazy.
All right, batting average leaders. Who else but Luis Ariz at the top in the National League, batting 455?
Yeah, man, dude, he's going for that back to back. Like I said, he's carrying the Marlins right now for
Yeah,
offense.
just watching that guy's approach at the plate, like you can tell he just gets hits.
Yeah, he's got that standard approach. So his first 2 strikes, he's gonna take hacks to try to leave the ballpark, get those extra base hits. But when he's got 2 strikes, he's choking up and he's putting the ball in play. I think he has the least amount of strikeouts in the NL for like everyday lineup players.
Wow, it's not surprising. The guy just gets on base.
Yeah, and that's what you want. What is he batting in their lineup? Is he two?
He's either 1 or 2. Today he batted third.
Third, yeah, because they're gonna have Jazz at leadoff. Garrett Cooper in
Actually,
two will
Jazz,
surprise me.
interestingly enough, batting sixth today. Birdie led off, and Garrett Cooper at second.
Nah, I don't like that.
Yeah, me
I
neither.
think I think if you have that lineup, honestly, I would like Jazz at the leadoff, and then you put someone like Jesus Sanchez, or even put Soler at the 2,
Yeah,
and then
so they're batting
Arias at
fourth
3.
right now. Actually went 3 for 4 today.
Okay, I mean, I guess keep him fourth then. What do I know?
And then in the American League, the batting average leader right now, Matt Chapman. He's just been, it's kind of dropped surprisingly. Had a little bit of an off week, but that, NL or AL Player of the Week last week, it's not surprising. The kid is just on fire. Not a
Yeah, I
kid,
mean,
grown ass adult, but
no one should be like sad that a batting average dropped to 410. Like just over 300 in the MLB is like awesome.
yeah,
So to have,
especially through like 15 games.
yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, your team right now, you have Bo leading in the hits and Matt leading in batting average. It's setting up for a fun season.
Yeah, once again, another team that's making me look pretty good.
Yeah, don't get too high on yourself yet. They're not making the playoffs.
That's cap. They're winning that division. All right, our RBI leaders right now. There's 3 at the top in the National League at 17. Matt Olson, Francisco Lindor, and Brian Reynolds.
Matty O, baby. But also just having 2 in the same division with Matt Olson and Lindor. That's another battle we're gonna have to look out for always between, especially with, I mean, it's early, but Philly's looking not too good right now, so all eyes are on New York and Atlanta. But also Brian Reynolds. I mean, this guy's never slept on. He's a star in the NL.
Oh, certainly, and it's a contract year, so he's got to turn up. Their negotiations have stalled a little bit with Pittsburgh. Look, he's the kind of guy that needs to get paid, and if the Pirates don't want to pay him, he's gonna leave.
Yeah, I'll go talk to him when I'm in Pittsburgh in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, make sure you
Tell him to
talk to him. Maybe talk to David Bednar, see what he's up to.
yeah, I'll get them both to come to the ATL.
Yeah, sounds good. Actually, I don't need Bednar. Iglesias coming back soon.
Yeah, but I mean, have one at the setup and one closing. You're telling me you would
Fair
be
enough.
mad to have both of them in the bullpen?
Hey man, what about Minter? Minter's the setup
Add,
guy.
bro, 7, 8, 9.
Fair enough. You can't leave out Jesse Chavez.
My bad. He'll pitch innings 5 through 7, or five and 6. We'll give him 5 and 6.
You tripping. All right. In the AL, RBI leaders tied at the top, Ryan Mountcastle and Yordan Alvarez with 20 each.
Yeah, that's big. That's a big number, especially for the first month.
Yeah, almost half of Mountcastle's coming from one game, his 9 RBI game, just I think a week and a half ago. Obviously boosted him up here, but Yordan Alvarez, who relatively struggling Astros team, Yordan has been definitely one of the shining stars in that lineup.
Yeah, I mean, he's besides Jose Altuve, he's their guy that they look to shine on. Um, he's their spark in the lineup that if he's not hitting a home run, he's hitting a single.
Oh yeah,
That's definitely because he last year he struck out a lot. But this year he's really shortened his approach to put the ball in play more. That was his goal in spring training, to sort of change his approach. Stop trying to on 2-2 counts. Stop trying to go big fly. Just put the ball in play and give your offense a chance to score runs.
yeah, he's doing a great job of it. Let's talk stolen bases in the National League. Nico Horner off to a great start in the stolen bases. He's got 9.
Not a surprise, especially with the new pickoff adjustments. Definitely going to see an increase on stolen bases this year, and with how fast Nico is, I honestly was not surprised to see him uh, lead in this category.
Yeah, and then in the American League, 2 teammates here from the Orioles, Jorge Mateo and Cedric Mullins tied at 8.
Yeah, I mean that's a nightmare for any catcher,
Oh
knowing
yeah.
with Jorge Mateo and Cedric Mullins, like they're getting on base. It's just like you got to put it in your head that you know that they're stealing second or fourth pitch.
Yeah. Yeah, those guys they've got lightning quickness, especially Mateo.
Yeah, the dude. How many inside the park home runs do you think he's gonna get this year?
3.
Wow. Okay.
He's just like
Okay.
that, man.
That's wow. That's a big ballpark.
It's not gonna happen, but
No, but yeah, something's brewing over there in Baltimore. Let me tell you, the Young Bucks came out firing this year.
yeah. All right, let's talk baseball reference war. 4 position players. Luis Arias leading the National League with 1.3.
Again, no surprise.
Yeah, look, he's just got value. That's his thing. He's a valuable player in a lineup. If the Marlins, or just whatever team he was on, if whatever team he's on had better players getting on base in front of him, he'd probably be leading in RBIs.
Yeah, absolutely. But hey, the Marlins are working. They're definitely heading in the right direction. But like I said before, not surprised. Position player B War. But also you got Matt Chapman over in the AL at 1.2, literally just point 0.1 behind them.
Yeah, 2 guys that leading in batting average. And look, when you get on base and you hit the ball, you're going to have a good war. That's just how it goes. And both of these guys, shining examples.
Exactly.
All right, let's talk pitchers. In the K's department, Zach Gallen and Logan Webb tied up at the top with 28 Ks.
Yeah, definitely two names you would not think to be at top. Like when you're in the NL thinking of K's, you're thinking Sandy Alcantara and Corbin Burns. Those
Yeah,
are top two names that come to mind. So to see Zach Gallen and Logan Webb both shining right now, happy for him. Logan Webb had a really good year last year. Looking to stack on and hopefully lead. The Giants got to pick it up.
yeah,
Like he's pitching well, but the Giants are struggling tremendously. I think they have five.
yeah.
I think
5
they're
and
like,
11.
yeah, 5-11.
It's brutal.
Yikes! But Zach Gallen, like we said before, playing a huge part in Arizona's success right now. So if he can keep it up again, like you predicted, he might be our NL Cy Young winner at the end of the year.
Hey man, just saying, look out for it. But in the American League, the strikeout king at the moment, Pablo Lopez, 33. Crazy. The guy is just on fire. He got paid. He's just killing it. Right now, he looks like the AL Cy Young winner. But he's got some competition. Guys like Luis Castillo, Garrett Cole, other guys in the AL just absolutely killing it. It's going to be a very tough race if these guys keep it up.
Yeah, and it's really going to come down to Pablo, his innings pitched. How much is he going to be used? How many close games is he going to pitch in? How many complete games is he going to have to throw? So depending on that, we'll see if he starts racking up those Ks, or if we just see like a slow increase in them, to where you get like Garrett Cole who could throw 6 innings, 12 Ks every day, because his offense is just going to explode.
Yeah, exactly. He needs support, and that's a big part of just staying in the game and racking up those strikeouts. Let's talk ERA, though. That's the best way to support your guys on the offense. Marcus Stroman right now leading the National League at a 1.0.
I love it. Marcus Stroman definitely has seen his struggle years the past couple of years. So to see him come out to a strong start in this first month is exciting.
Yeah, I feel like ever since he was in Toronto, we've been waiting for something to happen. He gets traded to the Mets. What, he pitched 1 game, maybe, and then was out. And it just seems like all we've been doing with Marcus Stroman is waiting for him to break out. And he's never going to be a big strikeout guy, but you can count on him to let the ball get put in play. The Cubs did exactly what they needed to by making their infield better, arguably. But I feel like they've done the right things to support Marcus Stroman as their ace, and he's definitely showing it off.
Yeah, exactly. And his biggest thing is that he creates ground balls. He does not give up the big fly. So that is what Chicago is looking for, especially at Wrigley. not being a super big ballpark. So a lot of home runs leave the field.
Yeah.
Um, so um, looking at it, if he can just keep getting those ground balls, especially to his number one shortstop over there, Dansby Swanson, he's gonna be fine.
Yeah, that infield duo is going to really help him with Swanson and Nico Horner. They can turn double plays. They're super quick. They can get to just about any ball. So as long as he's letting them get it, they're going to keep doing what they do. Let's talk about the AL though. Sonny Gray coming out, surprising a lot of people. 0.53 ERA.
Yeah, it's he. I think he's another one of those guys that just needed that change of scenery, especially coming out of Cincinnati. Because where's he at now? Totally
I want to say he's in Minnesota, but I could be wrong.
Minnesota. But yeah, like just like Stroman, he's one of those guys that has definitely seen his struggle years. So to see him doing well is exciting. It seems like this is the year where guys who have been struggling tremendously in the past are off to a very hot start.
Yeah, I can confirm he is in Minnesota. But the AL in general, they're the only league with any pitchers under a 1 ERA, and they've got the top 5 in ERA right now in the league. Sonny Gray at 0.53, Jeffrey Springs of the Rays at a 0.56, Luis Castillo 0.73, Otani a 0.86, and Garrett Cole a 0.95, and then our National League leader Marcus Stroman at a 1.
Yeah, it's especially with AL being known for being your more offense heavy teams. It's exciting to see pitchers come out and just pitch lights out.
Yeah. And then for whip, National League leader Anthony Desclafani at a 0.632. This is a big stat, and I wouldn't say it gets overlooked a lot, but I think its importance gets overlooked when it comes to just how well a guy can pitch and just put up quality innings. Because if you're not letting guys on base, then you're obviously killing it.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And he's still with the Giants, correct? I know I'm asking.
Yes, yeah, he is.
So that's another pitcher pitching well, but they're not winning games.
Yeah, a lot of that attributed to their very lackluster bullpen, probably.
Yeah. Um, yeah, that's definitely going to play a big part in not winning games is when your starters throw 5 or 6 good innings, but when your bullpen pitchers just can't get it done, it's going to be hard. But no, definitely Anthony putting up fabulous numbers this year along with teammate Logan Webb. Exciting stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And then in the American League, our leader in whip is Jeffrey Springs, a guy we just talked about. He's killing it right now. A 500 whip. So he's only letting up a batter or, a batter every other inning, essentially, base runner every other inning.
Yeah, and again, it comes with Tampa's success. So he played a big part in that 13-0 run, and he's even with them losing, he's still pitching well.
Yeah, absolutely killing it. And once again, just another surprising piece of this Tampa Bay Rays rotation that's looks so good.
Yeah, definitely had to step it up with losing all their big name pitchers. I think his last start, he came out and threw 3 innings, and they got the win. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes,
Uh,
I believe so.
so that's if he can come out when he needs to start a game and throw 3, 4 solid innings, it's gonna give, especially for bullpen days, it's gonna put your team in a strong position.
Yeah. All right. Let's show the Arm Barn some love. The saves leaders in the National League. There's 4 of them tied at the top. David Robertson of the Mets, David Bednar of the Pirates, AJ Minter of our Braves, and Josh Hader of the Padres, all tied at 4.
See, that's almost a month in. Those are some low numbers.
Yeah, you'd
That's
think you'd see a lot more from at least somebody.
yeah, it's but hey, I'm happy to see AJ Minter's name up in there. Phenomenal pitcher and a lot of times overlooked, in my opinion.
Most definitely, because He's not often in the closing role, and he won't be once Raisel Iglesias comes back. But AJ Minter has put up solid seasons the last 2-3 years.
Yeah. AJ Minter's just that guy you want to root for, and to see him stepping up when Rocio Iglesias is down is exciting because it's also showing our bullpen depth as well. Guys can pitch in different roles, and that's what makes a successful bullpen. Josh Hader's not a surprise up there. David Bednar's not a surprise. Those are top arms in the league. David Robertson is a surprise for me, uh, just because he's getting up there in age.
Yeah, 38 years old. Actually turned 38 9 days ago. Definitely getting up there in age, but showing to be a pretty solid replacement for the injured Edwin Diaz.
Yeah, well, let's just see if he can keep it up.
Yeah, the Mets in general aren't very good at keeping it up.
Yeah, because what he also splits is he splitting saves with Adam Ottavino?
I'm not sure. I haven't watched a lot of Mets baseball. I'll be honest.
I know, I know Adam Ottavino got the save last night, if I'm not mistaken. So they definitely when Edwin Diaz is he coming back at all this year?
I don't know. So originally he was going to be out for the whole season. Now it looks like he's making a pretty good recovery from his surgery. So possibly comes back in September, but not a sure thing yet.
Yeah, if I'm the Mets, just sort of depends where they're at. If they're sitting comfort comfortably,
Comfortably.
uh, yeah. Sorry, I can't speak right now. I'm not good with English, guys. But
It's only your first language.
possibly splitting between three guys working in a closing role. Um, not going to be able to put up numbers.
Yeah, exactly. And then in the American League, Jordan Romano sits upon the top by himself with 6, only one ahead of Emmanuel Clase of the Cleveland Guardians.
Hey, Romano is my closing pitcher in Diamond Dynasty, so you know all about him.
Yeah, man. I used him as well. That player of the month card.
Slider is ridiculous,
Oh yeah.
and then he can get up there in triple digits. Definitely, definitely going to be a closer for the future.
Yeah, he's a big part of why I think the Blue Jays can be successful is him. He anchors down every game and he does it consistently. Obviously, 6 saves, nothing to scoff at. We know, we were talking about the low save numbers, but he's only pitched in 8 games. He's got 6 saves. You can't ask for much more.
Yeah, he's calm, cool, and collected, and doesn't let the big moment get to his head.
Yeah,
And that's what you need as a closer. Because if you have a pitcher who's phenomenal but just gets in his head, what's he gonna do? He's gonna blow almost every save.
yeah, that's just going to happen. Let's talk a little bit more advanced statistics, but for the pitcher's side, pitching baseball reference war leader in the National League, a bit of a surprise, Graham Ashcraft of the Cincinnati Reds with a 1.4.
Yeah, it's definitely surprising to see Graham up there. Did not have high hopes for him again this year, but that's probably because he's on the Cincinnati Reds. Almost, if your name's not Hunter Green, no one knows who you are.
That's a fair point. But only his second season in the league and certainly doing a great job. He's 2-0 right now, 3 starts. He's pitched 19 innings, only given up 3 runs this season. The most impressive part, his ERA plus at 3.40. Obviously, all statistics ending in a plus are averaged at 100 as the league average. So a 3.40 ERA plus is nothing short of outstanding.
Yeah, and I think his last start came against the Phillies. He threw 6 innings, gave up 4 hits, 4 walks, 4 Ks, but no runs. Threw 89 pitches in 6 innings, set his team up to win. Again, the offense exploded, and by the 5th inning, it was 8-0. So he really he was comfortable
Yeah,
pitching with the lead. That's all you got to do.
yeah, it's hard to do if you're a Cincinnati Red, but when you get the opportunity, it seems like Graham Ashcraft's the best at seizing it.
Hey, they got a better record than the Phillies, so don't hate on the Reds.
It's a good point. Let's talk about the AL. Your pitching batting war reference or your batting war leader. Sorry, your pitching baseball reference war leader. I feel like you right now. Garrett Cole, the 1.5 B war. It's not surprising. We were just talking about Garrett Cole with the strikeouts and everything else that he's doing so well. Of course, he's going to be up here for war.
Yeah, and like you said, this is not a shock to anybody to see Garrett Cole at the top of any stat besides maybe earned runs given up.
Yeah.
Um, but the best thing that he's doing right now is he is limiting his walks. Last year, he used to rack them up. He used to have as many walks as he did strikeouts. I think, I think for last year, one of the games he had, first 3 innings, he went strikeout, walk, just alternating for the first 3 innings, which is not what you want to do because you're putting the opposing team in position to score every inning.
Yeah. He's definitely limiting the walks this season. That's a great a great thing to point out. Only 8 walks through this season. Um, he's just killing it. He's lights out. He's pitched 28.1 innings. That's the league leader right now. Hasn't given up a home run, which is kind of crazy, and just continues to look dominant. That's exactly what you need from the guy, and I'm not surprised to see him here.
Yeah, the not giving up a home run is surprising, especially at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, no kidding. It's like playing at a playground. All right, our overall WAR leaders in both divisions. Graham Ashcraft takes it home in the NL, beating out all the batters in the NL. Just 1 point ahead of one Luis Arias, but still some fantastic stuff from Graham Ashcraft. Obviously, we don't need to talk about him again, but very happy to see him here. And then in the AL, who else but Shohei Ohtani?
It's again not surprising. Dude's a freak on the field, and we can expect this all season long.
Oh yeah,
That's all I'm gonna say.
yeah. It's we are in the Shohei Ohtani era.
He he's probably gonna go down as the best of all time.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to rival it when you do it so well on both sides.
I know it's early, and people probably hate on me for saying it, but yeah, he will be the best baseball player of all time at the end of his career.
Yeah, as long as he can go, a little bit longer than some guys, because I think people overlook the fact that he was a rookie in 2018. He was only like he was 23 years old, so that's not that old for a rookie. But didn't I wasn't that impressed by his rookie season. I know he won the rookie of the year mainly because he did it on both sides, but 2019 and 2020 were not very good. And then gets the Tommy John, comes back, wins the MVP in 21. Obviously, fantastic stuff. MVP runner up 2022. But we got to see this sustained. And that's going to be the hardest part of his entire career is sustaining the his abilities in both pitching and hitting.
Yeah, and don't forget World Baseball Classic champion.
Of course. Not that that factors into anything in the MLB, but
I
agreed.
no, but here's the thing. I think him winning that sparks something for this year.
That's true. Yeah, I like that idea.
I think like it sparked a second flame in him because the dude, like even last year, was a freak. He looks even better this year.
Oh yeah, like he's an undeniable force on a baseball field.
Yeah, I mean when you can hit a ground ball to shortstop and beat it out, and then hit a ball 500 feet, and then throw 102 miles an hour.
For
How?
6 innings.
How? That's all I'm gonna say is I'm gonna leave you with that. How?
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk NFL news. Bunch of stuff going on. Biggest news, of course, Jalen Hurts deal. 5 years, $255 million extension. Highest paid player in NFL history. Getting 51 per year. 179.3 guaranteed. This is a crazy contract.
It's insane, and he deserves every cent of it.
Yeah, he's just ridiculous. And the crazy thing is, there's some other guys that are going to be getting extended in this offseason, most likely. And, one, maybe both, maybe all three, honestly, are worthy of more. So we'll just have to see. But I do want to talk about some things that the Eagles coaches and owner have said. Nick Sirianni back in January said, it's like having Michael Jordan out there. He's our leader. He's our guy. That obviously reflected in this new paycheck. But Eagles owner Jeffrey Lurie had a similar sentiment. He said, the hardest part for sure is the scarcity of really good quarterbacks, and we got one. We got a very special player. It's good to see because Jalen Hurts got slept on in his draft. Ended up, he got picked. Was he a second rounder or was he just late first?
I think he was early second, if I recall, because I think the Eagles traded away their first.
Yeah, that could be the case. Drafted, yep, round 2, pick 53. So kind of like a mid second. And nobody really expected it. But he came to Philly at the right time. That's for sure.
Yeah, and it's one of those things like best QB to come out of Oklahoma in the past 6 years,
Yeah.
I'd probably say. Um, but him as a leader on that field, I wouldn't want anybody else. The way he cares and controls his guys, like they'll run through a brick wall for him because he takes care of them.
Yeah. He seems like he seems like the best teammate in the league.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it's one of those guys. I mean, I know I'm an Alabama fan. I loved watching him play. The dude is an absolute stud, and he's a leader. So Philly definitely got their guy. But he also in that class fit the Philly system the best. So Philly definitely knew exactly what they were getting.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And he's definitely flipped the script on the running back allegations, if you will. But look, he's crazy. He's strong. He was a power lifter in high school, which is crazy. Um, but yeah, he just continues to shift this narrative of quarterbacks. And, a bunch of guys around the league are doing it, but I feel like he's probably doing it at the best level.
Yeah, definitely agree with you. He keeps playing like this. He's going to be top 5 for years to come.
Yeah, and this big contract puts him at fourth amongst the most guaranteed money in the league, behind Deshaun Watson, of course, his full contract, $230 million. Russell Wilson with 196, and Kyler at 189.5. I feel like Jalen Hurts deserves more money than any of them, but I understand that he's only really been good for like a year and a half.
Yeah. Uh, I agree with that. Um, Russ, I mean, Russ is very, you can argue because primetime Russ with Seattle was,
Decent.
I would probably say a little bit better than decent.
Nah, he was. He was.
Yeah. Kyler can go home, play COD.
And
And
Deshaun
Deshaun,
can do his unspeakable things.
I'm not gonna go there, but it sets up the field for the next couple of years of quarterback signings.
Yeah,
We're about to see some big numbers come through.
it definitely shifted the market for quarterbacks because Mahomes led the league with 45 million a year. Prescott was making 40 a year. Now this market's moved forward another 6 million. And what does this mean for the three big guys that need to get paid this offseason? Lamar Jackson, of course, but Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow need to be extended this offseason.
Yeah, and they're I'd probably say they're probably going to find deals around 50 to 55 million if I had to say. Um, but then at some point the Ravens are going to have to decide how high they're willing to go with Jackson. And Jackson's just going to have to decide whether he wants to reconsider or Like, what's going to happen? It's going to be an interesting topic to stay on for the next year.
Yeah, I certainly think that Burrow has the opportunity to make more money than Jalen Hurts now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think both of them will. Justin Herbert, like, he's a stud, and
Yeah,
he doesn't work with much with the Chargers. He's
that's
got
true.
Austin Eckler. He's got Keenan Allen, who's about to be put in a retirement home, and you got Mike Williams.
Yeah, it's he's definitely got some interesting things, and the Chargers franchise is just a shithole in general. So we'll have to see what they do, but I think Joe Burrow is a surefire one, and there's no telling what's happening with Lamar Jackson.
It's another one of those things. It's just like I feel like we just talk about it every week.
Yep. But some good news that we haven't really gotten to talk much about. Damar Hamlin has officially been cleared to play next season. We're not sure how big of a role he's going to have, how much he's really going to play early in the season, because the Bills might take it slow. But some other news that we did get from this is that he confirmed it was commotio cordis that caused this collapse. Talked in a press conference that commotio cordis is the leading cause of death in young athletes across all sports, and that Damar said that that's something that he's going to take personally, and he's going to take a step to make a change with. This is a fantastic story, just through and through. Just the heartbreak that we watched on January 2nd in Cincinnati, and just the entire world watching as, and just hoping that he was okay. And then he turns out to be okay. And he's made such a hasty recovery. Now looking to make changes and help the future because of something that happened to him. It's truly something that he has deserved and earned the right to make a change.
Yeah, and I remember watching that game because I had a big fantasy matchup on the line. Um, but that was just it's one of the scariest things I've seen in a long time. Um, but being cleared 4 months after the accident happened, it's it's a miracle.
Yeah.
I I don't expect him to play every game this next this next year. I will tell you this: his first game back, he will have a pick six.
It just it things like these write themselves.
It's it's like Jose Fernandez passed D Gordon hit that leadoff home run. It's part of the script.
Yeah. Just
But
ask Aaron Foster.
yeah, but again, Demar, we're happy for you, man. Um, you were in our prayers the whole time, and we're happy to see you back.
Yeah. A guy that, now can be universally rooted for no matter who you are.
Yeah, if you root against him, you just
Yeah, you need to go somewhere else.
you need to walk off the earth.
You can pick a different sport.
Go watch cricket.
All right. Let's speaking of the scum of the earth. Commanders owner Dan Snyder is they've officially reached an agreement to sell the team to Josh Harris, which we talked about last week. They've agreed on the price of $6.05 billion. It's not exclusive and not signed, but it appears that Josh Harris has won the bidding war, and it'll be finalized pretty soon. But it looks like the Commanders are a little bit disappointed with this price. They're still likely to accept it, but I feel like originally we were hearing $7 billion was going to be the number, and look, that's a lot of millions. That's quite a few millions, really. But when it comes to these guys, a billion's a billion.
Yeah, money's not a problem for these guys. Like
Obviously.
it's it's insane.
Yeah, and
But
I will say if
like,
this deal goes through at the reported price, Dan Snyder will have made a 300% return on his investment.
jeez,
Fuck that guy, man. Piece
that's
of
a lot of
shit.
percents.
Sure is. 300 of them.
Can I count that high?
I think you might get caught up in the 200s.
We'll try. We'll try a later time off record.
All right, and prior to the Odell Beckham signing, the Ravens were reaching a deal to trade for Cortland Sutton, but Denver backed out late in negotiations.
Oh, dude, if I'm Cortland, I'm pissed.
Yeah,
He wants out of there so bad.
Denver
It's
needs to let one of them walk. They need to let one
exact
of them.
exactly. And I think it needs to be Cortland Sutton that needs to walk. He, especially with Judy being out last year, the dude has just been taking beatings.
Yeah,
He needs a change of scenery. And I feel like when he gets that change of scenery, he will become a top 10 wide receiver in the league.
the guy is very skilled. And we always just see it in flashes because he's always just taking the beating for this Broncos team. And if we could finally just see a full season of him with a good quarterback, I would agree with you. He'd be top 10.
Yeah, like Denver ran the ball so much last year, so he was blocking more than he was running routes.
Yeah, it,
It's it's not good for your top wide receiver. It's not going to make him want to stay. He wants
definitely
the
not.
ball, and he can impact a team as one guy.
Certainly. And some pretty big news. Six-time Pro Bowler Gerald McCoy announced that he is retiring. Obviously, a former number 3 overall pick in 2010. Spent 9 years in Tampa. Unfortunately, left right before they won a Super Bowl. But Gerald McCoy has been an absolute force. I know I hated to go up against him for 9 years, but definitely a guy that maybe not a Hall of Famer, but certainly a big impact player throughout his career.
Yeah, you can argue that some people might see that he needs to be in the Hall of Fame, but overall, the dude had an absolute amazing career. Like you said, the 6-time Pro Bowls, that's no joke. That was back when they were doing Pro Bowls the right way. Um, but yeah, him coming in at that number 3 overall pick, he had a lot of pressure on him coming in, and he stood up to that pressure and he showed out in Tampa. I hated going up against him.
Yeah,
He
definitely
he
bothered me as a Falcons fan.
terrifying. But I guess we'll see ATL take over Tampa, or at least I hope so.
Yeah. All right. I have to butt in. Breaking news: Sean Murphy just hit a fucking dick shot.
421.
421. Oh
Yeah, I know.
shit.
Atlanta takes a 2-0 lead on the Padres. We're coming for that revenge, let me tell you.
All right. Back to the NFL. Cardinals safety Buda Baker has requested a trade.
Ooh.
It seemed like throughout this offseason, there was some murmurs, some rumors, whatever you want to say, that he was not happy. He wants to get paid. And looks like finally he's walking. So the Cardinals are just in shambles right now. They got a brand new coaching staff coming in, and Kyler's recovering from an ACL injury. Buda Baker requested a trade. D Hop likely to get traded. JJ Watt retired. Zach Allen and Byron Murphy left in free agency. Zach Ertz is recovering from an ACL injury. This Cardinals team is in shambles. I don't see this next season going much better than last year.
Yeah, definitely that new coaching staff has got a lot of work to do. Jonathan Gannon, Jeff Rogers, Nick Rallis. It's no one wants to be in Arizona right now. That team is broken.
Yeah, and it's hot. Nobody wants to be in Arizona at this point in the year.
I can see why JJ Watt retired.
Yeah,
He saw all of this happen and he was like, "Yeah, I'm out."
don't blame him at all. But the Cardinals do have something good coming. Maybe we'll see. They are revealing their new uniforms on Thursday, 420.
Hey, let's
Hey, 420 themed jerseys for the Cardinals.
Hey, they would draw in a very big fan base, let me tell
An
you.
interesting fan base, but yes, big.
Hey, willing to spend money, but
It's
no,
true.
away from that topic. Yeah, I mean, as I haven't seen any sneak peeks, but as a fan, you should be excited
Yeah, because
because
those jerseys fucking blow.
yeah, especially I like the black and red.
Yeah, I
That
don't
those
mind
are
that one.
It's just the red shoulders with the white chest. Look
Sucks.
like you look like you should be a nurse.
A nurse? What?
Yeah, bro, I'm telling you, go pull up a picture and old time nurses.
Oh,
That's
okay.
just
Okay, now I know what you're talking about.
yeah. Oh, now they wear like blue and stuff,
Yeah, I was
but
about to
like
say, you saying their uniforms look like scrubs?
no, like back in the day
Yeah,
when it was just all white and red.
I get it. All right. Interesting news here. This seems like it just happened in a matter of no time. Dalvin Cook might be cut or traded before the draft.
If he gets cut, there's something wow because the dude can play.
Yeah, and like it came out like 2 weeks ago. He's been dealing with injuries and he's just now getting surgery on it. He's been dealing with it for like 3 years and now he's going to come back healthy. Why would you want to get rid of him? I understand he's getting paid 10 a year, which is tough for a running back, but that's really not all that much.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be other people you can cut besides your number two star on the field.
Yeah,
Like he is the reason you are winning games more than likely. Because the only way your wide receivers are gonna play well is if you set up a running game. The only way
exactly.
your running back are gonna play well is if you set up a passing game. And if they rely, yeah, Alexander Madison can fill a role, not 100% fill it. I mean, he'll get his touches, he'll score some touchdowns, but he's not Dalvin Cook.
Yeah. And I don't know, this just seems crazy to me. It's just like where would he even go?
ATL.
Maybe. I like Tyler Algier though.
Yeah, I'm very high on him. Honestly, I'm trying to think where else. I mean, could he go to Chicago?
Denver?
He doesn't want. He'd rather retire than go to Denver.
They need a running game.
Yeah, but it's Denver.
Yeah. I don't know, man. We'll see. We're not
Could he not?
GMs.
What about Chicago, man?
He
I know
could.
You got Khalil Herbert, but
Yeah.
um,
I don't know. I'm not a fan of that landing spot. Obviously, he could go, but I wouldn't want to go in that division.
he could go anywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
Like we're not GMs. We don't know.
It's a fair point. But we'll say props to Falcons GM Terry Fontenot. This guy's just having a burner this offseason. Absolutely killing it. Pick up former Steeler and Titan Bud Dupree to a 1-year deal. I love this pickup. I know Bud Dupree's kind of past his prime, but he's a solid pass rusher, and we just need to keep bolstering this defense. I love it.
Yeah, give this man the key to our city because he's having a phenomenal offseason. Um, but I love the Bud Dupree pickup. Um, his best year, not too long ago, 2019. Um, he's looking to see if he can even partially recreate that. I think that year he was like second in the league in sacks. Um, but he's mainly brought in to mentor the young bucks. Um, because if they can even learn anything from Bud Dupree, they're walking away even better than how they came in.
Yeah, I think that the Falcons have done a great job, especially with the defensive signings of like picking up a couple veteran guys. Bud Dupree, Calais Campbell. Like these are guys that have been around and they've done it at the highest level for so many years. They have the experience to teach these guys. Maybe they're not gonna, they're not gonna play every snap, but they're gonna have an impact not just on the field, but in the locker room and just on the practice field with these guys.
Yeah, you can expect a lot of one-on-one films like Bud Dupree, Calais Campbell, just pulling guys and just teaching them how to play that position at a high level.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're already in the NFL at a high level, but everyone in the NFL was that guy in college, was that guy in high school. So they're gonna amp it up a little bit and just create monsters.
Oh yeah. The Browns, they signed wide receiver Marquise Goodwin, and I'm kind of happy with what the Browns have done so far with this receiving core. So it seemed like they didn't really have much outside of Amari Cooper and David Njoku last year. Now they added Elijah Moore just a couple of weeks ago. Now they pick up Marquise Goodwin. I think they've built like a sneaky, like pretty good receiving core in Cleveland.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, David Njoku was even out for a little bit last year. So the focus was just on Amari Cooper. And so last year all they had to do was lock up Amari Cooper and stop Nick Chubb, and you beat the Browns. This year they have a lot more weapons to work with. So definitely expect some a better record with the Browns, honestly. Um, and you can't take them lightly this year because they can put up points on the board.
For sure. And, we're going to get to see a full season to Deshaun Watson as long as he doesn't fuck it up.
No massages.
No pun intended. All right. Offseason programs have begun in the NFL. Kyler Murray and Vikings defensive end Marcus Davenport, they collected their $1 million bonuses for their participation. Those are the league leaders in voluntary offseason program bonuses. Jets defensive lineman Quinnen Williams did not report to their offseason program. I think he's just looking to get some money.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Dude's a fucking beast.
Yeah, dude, that's Q. I mean, we're just built different out in T-Town. Let me tell you.
All right. We're not letting you go on an Alabama spiel.
Fine.
But Saquon and Dexter Lawrence both did not attend the Giants' voluntary offseason program, which, not a surprise again. Dexter Lawrence and Saquon both got to get paid. The Giants are in a tough position here because Saquon obviously hasn't signed his franchise tag. He probably won't because he's getting absolutely shit on with the franchise tag. Dexter Lawrence deserves the money. Guy's been absolutely killing it, and you're still not respecting him, but you gave $40 million a year to Daniel Jones.
Yeah, that's just an absolute disrespect to both Saquon and Dexter, who play honest. Besides, I mean, I'll even say it, they're the two best on the Giants lineup,
Yeah.
100%. And for them both not to be paid yet, I don't blame them for not going.
No,
Oh, I wouldn't go.
I would. It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, man. I'm just gonna be like, hey, with Kyler with that 1 million bonus, he's gonna buy that battle pass so quick, bro. He probably already bought it.
He bought that special one too, the like
He's, he's
$30
got
one.
he's got every CDL league camo. He's got everything, dog.
Dude, he has like he has like an accountant that budgets his Call of Duty point like purchases. He's like he calls his account. He's like, dude, they just dropped this sick ass skin. It's got a cool blueprint with it too. It's a big guy with cat ears.
I'm surprised Call of Duty hasn't made a Kyler skin.
I think the Cardinals would just cut him.
Uh,
They'd be like,
it's
all
all
right, that's enough.
he wouldn't be able to see over the box anyways.
That's true. He would have a small hitbox though.
All right, enough of that.
Dirty
talk.
for the heady. All right, enough Call of Duty talk. Josh Jacobs and Evan Ingram have not signed their franchise tags and will not report to their respective offseason programs. I'm kind of surprised by Evan Ingram here. I thought the Jaguars did a great thing by franchise tagging him. Obviously, he thinks he deserves more money, and he arguably does. The tight end franchise tag is not valued very highly, but you could give him a couple more million. I just think that one good season out of Evan Ingram doesn't really constitute giving him a pretty big contract.
Yeah, I mean, before this Jacksonville season, he didn't blow anybody's mind.
No.
He was very average, if not below average. Granted, again, he was with the Giants, but like that was when they were really bad. But I just need to see more of him. Like
Yeah,
you said, one season, it'd be a mistake for Jacksonville to just unload all their money on him after one good season.
yeah. But then Josh Jacobs, he's had other good seasons for sure, but this season, obviously, the best of his career. And he also deserves to get paid. He should not have been franchise tagged. I think they were just, they didn't know what number to give him, and they didn't want to let him walk, so they just threw a franchise tag on him.
Yeah, absolutely. So Josh Jacobs, after the year he just had, um, let's just see if he can do it again.
Yeah, I do think he gets paid, though, at some point this offseason. I don't think they're going to end up franchise tagging him for the season.
Nah, yeah, I agree with you 100% on that one.
All right, a little bit more NFL news. Brock Purdy admits that he could miss the entire 2023 season. Said he's not sure if he'll be able to play this year. This is interesting because obviously it was a UCL surgery, so like Tommy John's, and he got it just I believe a month ago now. It seems like he should be ready at some point in the season.
Yeah, well, that surgery affects everyone differently.
True.
Everybody's got your own recovery time. So, I mean, if he definitely does not need to come back unless he is 100% ready to go. Yeah, well, especially with how young he is. He's got a long future awaiting him in the NFL. So, he definitely does not need to rush anything. So, listen, if he thinks he's going to miss this year, so be it. They can
Yeah,
manage.
I
Their
think
offense is their offense is good enough to manage without Brock Purdy.
the hardest thing though for Brock Purdy is that this is his chance because if Trey Lance comes out and shows off, he's not coming back in.
Yeah, it's his chance, but we saw last year what he could do. So, and, like, everybody knows it. Again, he's playing with one of the best offenses on the team, like, in the league. Um, we've seen Trey Lance before his injury. Granted, it wasn't with the same exact team, so, I mean, I'm all for giving Trey Lance the shot. I don't think he's gonna succeed in it, if I'm being completely honest. So, I think Brock Purdy can wait this year, and his spot is still waiting for him when he comes back.
All right. Let's talk about just some two stupid things in news. Russell Wilson flipped his golf cart on Sunday. Nobody was hurt, but I did see a picture of it. It was very funny.
I'm surprised that no one got hurt because those things, when they flip, they hurt.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
real dangerous. I'm
Have you ever?
assuming he was probably driving it. I saw. I guess he didn't see like a bunker, which if you're driving your golf cart on the fairway, you should probably know where the bunkers are.
Yeah, that's usually on a lot of golf courses. Carts aren't allowed to go anywhere near bunkers.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I'm not going to go into it about where he should have
No,
been,
Russell
but
Wilson needs to stop being a scumbag on the golf course and show some etiquette.
I've flipped my fair share of golf carts back in the day.
I haven't flipped one. I've definitely spun one on accident, going down a hill too fast and then turning. That was scary as shit, but I have not
Yeah, no.
flipped one yet.
Um, my golf partner thought it'd be cool to try to Tokyo drift a golf cart, and I ended up breaking my middle finger on when it flipped
Ah,
because
sorry.
I didn't pull my hand in. I
That's
tried
stupid.
to I tried to be Superman and like push the cart from falling, and
Yeah,
then I
I don't
broke
think you're
it.
gonna stop that one, buddy. You're not gonna beat physics.
But no, it was hilarious when I first saw that.
Yeah,
And
Russell Wilson just needs to just stop. Just stop doing this. Stop golfing.
hey, just let him have his fun. No
No,
one was hurt. No
fuck
one
him.
was hurt.
Fuck Russell Wilson. All right, Antonio Brown. I had to shit on Russell Wilson because I've shit on Antonio Brown enough, and I had to shit on somebody before this segment was over. Antonio Brown went on the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast and said that Tom Brady cursed out his agent because Antonio hadn't signed his contract yet. This is Tom Brady shit. He's a football guy through and through. This is what football guys do. They get mad at people. And
Yeah,
Tom Brady seems he's a captain. All right. He is a guy that doesn't put up with bullshit. And if you're not going to sign your fucking contract when he wants you to, he's going to get mad.
yeah. I mean, I think Tom Brady has been put up with Antonio Brown for a while now.
Yeah.
So, but like you said, I mean, you got to listen to TB.
Exactly.
Antonio Brown's just messed up in the head. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna go out and put that.
Last thing I
Honestly,
want to do is sit here and talk about the problems with Antonio Brown.
yeah, I'll just stay out of the NFL. That's gonna make it better. All
Yeah.
right, just
Keep rapping, bro.
no,
What, dude? You don't
No.
like put that shit on?
no, absolutely not,
Bro,
don't
don't
know-
tell me
I
the
don't know.
dance ain't fire though.
dude. I don't know what's worse, that or him actually playing.
I can think of worse things he's done.
Seeing him in football cleats on the field, out of a Steelers uniform, is horrible.
Yeah, that's true. Hasn't done very well.
I don't. Should have just stayed in Pittsburgh, man. We'd be fine.
Dude, if he stayed in Pittsburgh, he'd have fucking, I don't know what would happen. He probably would have killed Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh, dude, you're telling me he's gonna fight Big Ben? Big Ben's gonna stuff him 6 feet under,
Not when he was that old.
bro. Big Ben could be 70 years old and he's still kicking the shit out of Antonio Brown.
I don't know about that, man.
I'm calling
We're
Luke.
talking about how Antonio Brown's lost his mind. He's got a screw loose.
I'm calling Luke.
I will make sure to send him this clip and see what he thinks. But let's get into some draft talk. We got the full list of the prospects invited to the draft: Jordan Addison, Will Anderson, Brian Branch, Jalen Carter, Zay Flowers, Christian Gonzalez, Paris Johnson, Will Levis, Joey Porter Jr., Anthony Richardson, Bijan Robinson, Jackson Smith and Jigba, CJ Stroud, Keon White, Tyree Wilson, Devin Witherspoon, and Bryce Young. The only one I'm surprised by here is Keon White. Been kind of a sleeper, snuck into a couple of mock drafts in the, like the 30 spot, late 20s, but it kind of sucks if he doesn't go in the first round and he got invited to the draft.
Yeah, I expected this guy to go late second, early third.
Yeah.
And when I saw that he got invited, dude, they could bust his balls and just not draft him on the first day.
Dude, I think that's what they're pulling right here. The NFL's like, let's get a guy who's, we're going to get his hopes up. He's going to think he's going to be a first rounder, and then he's going to go like a couple picks into day 2.
All these Georgia guys sitting at the table across from him, and he's just sitting there, yellow jacket vibes and everything. It could be messed up. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I mean, all these other guys we've talked about them. Everyone knew these guys. Another, I mean, Brian Branch. Wait, where in the first round do you think Brian Branch is going?
Can't reveal much because I got my mock draft coming out later this week, but he might be in the first round. I honestly can't remember. I'll be honest.
He was another one I had going in the second round. I did not maybe super late first round.
Yeah. I don't know. There's some teams that need a safety, and he looks like a pretty good option.
He's one of the best options.
All right. You said it yourself. All right. Let's talk a little more Bama. Bryce Young made an interesting call here. Definitely shaking some things up. He canceled his remaining pre-draft visits. Another sign that he's probably going to go number 1, but he's also already visited with the Texans who drafted 2. So does this certainly mean he's going number 1? Because Vegas seems to think so. He's now a minus 2,000 to go first overall to the Panthers, which is crazy. But I don't know if I want to believe it yet, because I'm still going to believe that CJ Stroud is the Panthers guy. But maybe Bryce Young really showed him in the interviews, because he did it right after he made that meeting with the Panthers. It got wrapped up, and then a couple hours later, we hear that he canceled all of his visits. So maybe the Panthers were like, we're going with CJ Stroud. Hate to break it to you. And the Texans had already been like, if you're on the board, we're taking you. So I don't know what this means. Most likely it means he's going to Carolina, which I think is the wrong decision. But, you know, once again, not a GM.
Yeah, he definitely had his interview with the Texans and then was really hoping that the Panthers were going to take him at one because no one wants to be in Houston, man.
That's true. Carolina has built something nice, so I think anybody would like to be a part of it.
Yeah. Are they getting a new stadium? Did I see that as well? I know Buffalo is in
Yeah,
talk for one.
I've heard about it. I don't know if it's like a done deal yet.
Hmm. Interesting, but it's definitely draw. I think it's drawn more attention for draft day because it's. I think it's going to be a last minute decision, honestly, for Carolina.
Yeah,
Like, I don't think they can go wrong with either pick, in my opinion. I know you think CJ Stroud's definitely number one. I'm not going to go into why I think Bryce Young is number one because
we've all heard it.
I'm
We've all
exactly.
heard why everybody thinks everybody's going number one.
Yeah. So it's just we'll see.
Yeah,
That's all you can say is we will see.
fuck it. Will Levis number one.
I'm not watching NFL. I'm turning the draft off if I see that. Like
All right,
that'd be the stupidest move in the world.
that's true. Well, here's something stupid. Peter King of NBC Sports said, "I will not be surprised if in the edge category, Tyree Wilson is picked ahead of Will Anderson."
You don't want me to talk about that.
I don't, but let me continue this. I particularly will not be surprised if Houston, whether at 2 or through a trade down, if they don't take a quarterback. Is this guy
So
fucking lost his mind?
if I read that correctly, is he saying if Houston does not go quarterback, they're going Tyree Wilson?
That's what it sounds like.
Oh, dude, that's brutal. If you're a Houston fan, let me tell you, because just his mindset to say that Tyree Wilson's better than Will Anderson, he needs to be fired from NBC. I mean, I guess there's a reason he's at NBC and
Yeah,
not any of the other big names. Um,
there's no telling, man.
but
That's a crazy take.
again, I could sit here for hours and talk about how Peter King's just an absolute dumbass, but I'm not gonna do that.
Well,
I'm just gonna say that Peter King, please never open your mouth about draft talk ever again. That's all I'm
so
gonna say.
I will say that other people have said that Houston not taking a quarterback is a possibility. Um, per Luke Sawhook, I don't know who he works for, but he said that they may trade the pick. Sounds like they really could be waiting for Caleb Williams. So if they trade the pick, could allow them to gather some assets to either have tons of assets to move up to number one next year, or be lucky enough to get number one next year and get additional assets to build for the future. So there is that opportunity, but with kind of the new coaching staff with D'Amico Ryans, I think D'Amico Ryans wants to come in and win, and you're not doing that with Davis Mills.
Yeah, absolutely. But I could definitely listen if I'm sorry, I'm selling this Tyree right now, but if they want Tyree so bad, trade away the pick and get him at like 8 or 9 or even lower than that.
Yeah,
But
realistically, if they want him, they could probably trade down with like I don't know the Lions. If they want Tyree Wilson, they let Detroit just draft Will Anderson, then it wouldn't really be a problem. I don't think Tyree Wilson goes to any of the teams before that. Maybe the Seahawks.
yeah, I don't know. Will Anderson to the Lions, that'd be kind of the Lions defense looked really good last year, and just them adding Will
Um,
Anderson.
I wouldn't say really good. I think Aiden Hutchinson looked good.
My bad. They looked a lot better than previous years.
Yes, I'll give you that.
And I know there's a lot of high scoring games, but previous years their defense was non-existent.
Well, let's
Now,
talk about the opinion of a guy that I actually respect, Ian Rappaport. He said that he'd be surprised if the Texans do not pick the quarterback of the future with the number 2.
finally, somebody with a brain.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
who knows what's going to happen? I'm just going to keep thinking that they're going quarterback.
like you said, DeMarco Ryan wants to win.
D'Amico
D'Amico,
Ryans. He was an Alabama player, man. You should know this.
bro, I'm, that shows you how much I pay attention to the Texans.
Fair enough.
But
He did play for the Texans.
exactly.
But he was a Bama player. You should know this. He played under
I
Shula.
listen, man. Don't get me started.
Bandwagon.
They're not winning with Davis Mills.
Okay, yes. I can agree with that one.
Okay. So pick a damn quarterback.
Yes. You heard it here first. Colin said that the Texans need to pick a damn quarterback, and I agree. Giving it the second and short stamp of approval.
Let's go.
All right. So we're closing in on the draft, and there's just so much uncertainty. Bryce Young might go 1. CJ Stroud might go 1. 3 different teams. Don't even have first round grades on Anthony Richardson and Will Levis. Some of them, maybe both, might go in the top 10. So there's just no telling what's going on with this quarterback class. Maybe Hendon Hooker goes in the top 10. Nobody knows what's happening right now. We do know that there's a lot of teams looking for a quarterback, and there's the opportunity for all 4 of these guys to go in the first round, and maybe Hendon Hooker as well.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna say that, just go ahead and say Malik Cunningham's gonna be up there.
I don't know about that.
I mean, you're making statements like Hendon Hooker's gonna be up there. Do I not say Stetson Bennett's gonna be up there?
No, Hendon Hooker could actually be up there.
I don't think so. I think if he's up there, teams are dumb.
Or they're looking to just get a backup quarterback.
They can draft him so late.
No, they can't. I don't think so. That's not the reality anymore.
You don't think if Hendon Hooker's in the second round, you think he's gonna go first round?
I think so.
That's surprising. I see him going maybe middle to late second round.
I don't think so. I don't think there's a lot of teams that are willing to just keep letting him drop.
But this draft is there's so many possibilities that can happen. Like in years past, it's been pretty obvious who's going where, and you can know literally as soon as the college season was over.
Yeah.
But this year has been one of the crazier ones.
Yeah, it's got to be one of it's one of the most loaded draft classes I've seen in a long time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
When it comes to quarterback talent, defensive line talent for sure. The secondary's pretty solid in this one. A bunch of good wide receiver options. The only thing that this draft is really missing is some good running backs.
Yeah. There's not like a lot of top tier running backs coming in, but I mean, this year you got a lot of undersized running backs that are coming in that are still very explosive.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, on this running back talk, the Falcons are the betting favorites to land Bijan Robinson.
What are your takes on that, guy?
I hate it. I love Bijan Robinson, but I love Tyler Algier much more.
That I'm leaning the same way. I don't think we don't need him.
No, I think it's a waste. There's other things to work on than the running game. I think the running game was fantastic last year. If Cordero Patterson can do exactly what he did last year, even a little less, and Tyler Algier can take that next step, we don't need Bijan Robinson.
Okay, I'm glad we're on the same page because I 100% agree with you. Sorry, Carson. I know you'd like to go see your player go. I can't speak, but you'd like to go watch your player live, but I don't want that.
You can go do it somewhere else.
Go to Dallas.
That wouldn't be a bad landing spot.
Yeah, take over for Zeke, match him up with Tony Pollard.
I don't mind that one. I do mind this though. Jim Irsay back at it with these shit tweets, dude. It pisses me off how much the Colts owner tweets. certainly don't believe that he writes them, but go ahead and read it for you. He said, for the 23 draft, we have many options. With the number 4 pick, we could stay put and take a quarterback, or trade up and take a quarterback, or trade down and maybe take a quarterback, or not. All options on the table, but we like our position and are very excited. Fire up. Dude, shut the fuck up. You're taking Will Levis or Anthony Richardson at 4.
Bro needs to stay off the socials.
You're an old man. All you need to do on the socials is tell us if the roof is open or closed that week. That's all I care about.
I mean, he's trying to see what specials Captain D's has going on for that week.
Yeah, that's a real old man take.
He probably follows Captain D's, Hardee's, Denny's. When was the last time you saw Arthur Blank tweeting?
Probably never. I don't think he has a Twitter.
Exactly.
He's also an old guy. He's an old Jewish guy. He doesn't use Twitter.
Jim, let's shut the fuck up kindly and let your team do this. All right.
Well, his team hasn't done much talking the last couple of years, so maybe he thinks he's the only bright spot.
It's just one of those things. It's just why would you say this?
There's no telling.
It's like what in your right mind thinks that this is a good idea?
Who knows? But what I do know, there's a lot of guys that are talented in day 3, even day 2 for the draft. We're going to run you through a couple of our favorites. Colin, let's go ahead and get started with you. What do you think?
Deuce Vaughn, running back out of Kansas State.
Love it.
Instinctive, elusive, and a quick runner. The dude can I can see him getting drafted, starting out on special teams with low snaps on the offense, but then slowly working his way to getting half snaps and splitting with another running back.
I like that. Yeah, that seems like the role he could take on. A very undersized guy, of course, the shortest guy ever measured at the combine, but he's strong, he's fast, he's elusive. Like, he is a seriously good running back. It just seems like people are overlooking him because he's small.
Dude, he's like,
it's not hard to look over him. So
he's like your stronger Darren Sproles, in my opinion.
I like that comparison.
All right, who you got, Gray?
I got Jamie Robinson out of Florida State, the safety. A little bit, kind of lackluster combine results of 4.59 40, only a 9.8 broad jump, but the production score from next gen stats, he came second among safeties at the combine in that. Overall, the 4th ranked from NFL next gen stats. I really like Jamie Robinson. He really showed out at Florida State last year, was all over the field, plays the safety position fantastic. He's a little bit smaller, compact frame, but could throw him at nickel, throw him at safety, plays super well downhill, strong run stopping power, but it's just he doesn't have the measurables, and not a lot of people like his development. But I just think that he's a guy that I think he really could learn. He improved year over year at Florida State, and I think that he just has the ability to play well and be a supportive safety. He's not going to be, like a Minka Fitzpatrick, but he's definitely going to make an impact, but probably a small one.
Okay, I like that. Is that the first Florida State guy you've talked about for draft talk? Gosh, not a lot of good guys coming in this year, huh? Yeah, I like that pick though. All right, my next guy, I'm gonna talk about a QB who's sort of, in my opinion, getting overlooked a little bit. Malik Cunningham out of Louisville. The dude's a baller. He's a dual threat with plenty of upside to look at. I think he could be a sneaky pick this year for a team.
Yeah, he's kind of an interesting case because he played in an offense that's similarly styled to when Lamar Jackson was there. He didn't do it as well at all, and rather unimpressive results, but certainly had his games, had his moments. He could be an impact player, but I just don't know how I feel about him.
And hey, there's a reason he's day 3, maybe day 4 looking, but the upside's there. Especially, I think a lot of teams look at the similar play style to Lamar, maybe a little bit better of an arm, in my opinion. Um, but it's one of those things that we'll just have to see.
Yeah. All right. My second guy, Byron Young, edge rusher out of Tennessee. Dude is just an athlete. That's what it comes down to. 11-foot broad jump, a 4.43 40, 22 reps on the bench, 38-inch vertical. Came in with an athleticism score at the combine of an 82. That was third amongst edge rushers. Kid is he's just an athlete. That's how it is. And got a great story actually. He was out of football for 18 months after he graduated high school in South Carolina, was an assistant manager at a Dollar General in Columbus, Georgia, tried out for the team at the Georgia Military College, had a pretty solid first year there, was a top 15 overall JUCO recruit, and um, they actually didn't even play that season in 2020, of course, because of COVID, but transfers to Tennessee, started 8 of their 11 games with 11 and a half tackles for loss, 5.5 sacks in his first season with them. And then as a senior, first team All SEC, led the team with 7 sacks, 37 tackles, 12 tackles for loss. It's a fantastic story, and it's just a prime example of growth. The kid just can grow, and that's what NFL teams want to see with their guys in, the second, the third round is a guy that's willing to work and just continue to get better. And I think that's exactly what we're seeing here with Byron Young.
Yeah, I really like that. He was one of the guys I was looking at as well, for one of these day 2, day 3s. And I just with how he started, it's so good watching him succeed. It's just hard not to for the guy.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Colin, who's your third guy?
All right, it's a guy. I mean, we're both kind of high on him. We both like him. Zach Evans, running back out of Ole Miss.
Brock would appreciate this pick.
Brock, this one's for you. Yes, he's just like Deuce Vaughn, undersized, but so explosive. He can split any gap, and he's a great pass catcher. He's got hands. People overlook that as a running back, but with the way NFL's playing out nowadays, you need a running back who can run and a running back who can catch.
Yeah, I really like Zach Evans mainly for that reason. He definitely got overlooked last season, started the season injured. Quinshon Judkins, the true freshman, absolutely blew up just out of nowhere. And it kind of outshined Zach Evans. But prior to that, he was just fantastic. And I'm really happy with what we saw from him. Just a great running back. And yeah, I think he's a guy to look out for in the coming years because he could definitely just build. He can grow his game, get a little bit stronger, continue to be a solid pass catcher, and use that explosiveness to his advantage.
Yeah, I'm very high on him. I think he can have a very solid NFL career.
All right. I've also got a running back for my last guy. That's Muhammad Ibrahim out of Minnesota. Kid was a baller last year. Not the strongest, not really that big, 5'8", 203, but just a strong production score from the combine. He ranked 8th amongst running backs there. A pretty good comparison here from Lance Zierlein. He hasn't compared to Damian Pierce, which I think is great. Kind of just a toughness type running back. He's really just about strength and vision. He's got a real good feel for his cut behind the line of scrimmage and a very decisive runner. So it's just about um, the fact that he's not willing to move out of the way. Um, and that could cause some problems in the NFL because you can get injured, you can be a little bit combative, which can be a problem. But he's just a no nonsense kind of runner. He's just gonna run. He's gonna get you yards, and that's what you need.
Yeah, I like that. A little golden gopher action working its way to the NFL.
All right. Anything else about these day three, day two prospects?
No, I mean, like we said, I think 90% of the running backs people are going to say are undersized in this class,
Yeah.
but that does not mean you should count them out because the game's changing in the NFL. The little guys are making a push,
Yeah. Stand up for the short kings.
unless your name is Kyler Murray.
Yeah. Fuck Kyler Murray.
Sorry, guys, we hate Kyler Murray,
Yeah.
but no, I'm excited. I think I say this every time I'm on. I'm ready to get to draft day and watch the action roll.
Yeah. I think this is a perfect time for me to announce that on draft night, me and Luke will be recording throughout the entire draft, talking about our drafts, talking mock drafts, you know, right before the pick, saying who we think might go, who should go, anything like that. We're going to be covering the entire draft. It's going to go up on Friday. So you can hear our full analysis of every single pick, first reaction, all of that on Friday morning. And next week is all draft. Not really going to be talking anything else. Tuesday's episode, I'm going to have a guy on, Mike. He's going to come in. I'm going to have him break down my mock draft, which I'll be releasing this coming Friday. Me and Luke's mock drafts will be coming out. So just a ton of draft content with it coming up. And I am super excited for it.
Yeah, and hey, while we're doing announcements, Spencer Strider just lost his no hitter in the sixth inning.
Damn. I was trying not to talk about it.
I was not going to talk about it. I didn't say anything while it was happening, but he just lost it on a bloop single over second base.
Damn.
But right now he's thrown 6 innings with 9 Ks, so he's shoving
Yeah,
right now.
before we get into Do You Remember, let's just kind of look around the league real quick. In the MLB, update everybody on some scores while we're sitting here. Mets losing to the Dodgers 3-0, bottom of the fourth. The Brewers and Mariners tied at 4 in the top of the seventh. The Athletics and Cubs tied at 0 in the middle of the sixth. The Pirates have a 5-3 lead on the Rockies, bottom of the ninth. Rockies do have a runner on second with 2 outs. And then, like you said, Braves up 2-0 on the Padres. All right, Colin, you ready to get into Do You Remember?
Yeah, let's get into it. I got a good one for y'all.
All right. Well, then you go ahead and lead it off.
All right, so I know we talked our baseball, we talked our football, but I'm gonna take y'all back all the way to 1997. Tiger Woods winning the Masters.
All right. Let's hear it.
He going into that, he was never supposed to win that, and he ended up winning by 12 strokes at 21 years of age. First round comes out, shoots a 70, rough. He shot, I think he shot 4 over on the front nine, and then ended up shooting 6 down on the back nine.
Ooh.
And that back nine really set the tone for the rest of his tournament. Coming out shooting a 66, then a 65, and then final round 69. But he becomes the youngest to win a Masters at 21. And then he's also the first African American to win the Masters as well, really setting the tone for his career as a golfer and going down as one of the best.
Yeah, I love it, man. That the watching that moment, I actually did a project on it for one of my classes last semester. It's so crazy to look into because the year prior he played very bad at the Masters, and then after that it was just dominance. Tiger Woods really cemented himself, and now one of, if not the best golfer of all time.
Yeah, I'm like you said before this Masters, no one had him even in like the top 10
No,
because of how bad he was playing. I actually read some articles like there were people that wanted him off the tour.
interesting.
So and then he comes out, wins, and then it's just uphill from there.
Yeah,
Like the man, golf wouldn't be where it's at without Tiger Woods.
agreed.
So Tiger, fantastic career, buddy. Go take a break.
Yeah, it probably
Prop up
needs
them
to be
feet.
over.
Prop up them feet,
All
and just
right.
let the young bucks do their thing.
Anything else for it?
No, that's it. I just 21 years old winning a Masters. It's insane.
It is. I got one more year. You think I can make it?
No, no.
All right, fair enough.
We'll
All
see if
right.
you can break 100 next time.
Yeah, we'll see. Hey, look, I got my first career birdie. That's all that matters. All right. My do you remember is the Cody Bellinger versus Christian Yelich MVP race, but particularly the first month of that 2019 season, because they were absolutely lighting it up from the time that season started. So in April and March together, Cody Bellinger started 30 games, was hitting 431, a 508 on base percentage, an OPS of 1.398. And he had 14 home runs, which tied him for the most in the first month of the season. He had 37 RBIs, 5 stolen bases, 19 walks, only struck out 15 times in that entire month, had a triple as well. Dude was on an absolute tear to start that season, but it's too bad that Christian Yelich was there as well. In only 28 games started, he had 14 home runs as well, which tied him for that leader in the months of March and April together. 4 doubles, 34 RBIs, 6 stolen bases, walked 20 times, batting 353, on base at 460, and an OPS of 1264. These guys were just absolutely ridiculous just throughout this season, but for the first month of the season, all the way through the end, they were the league leaders for MVP in the National League. One of the craziest races I've ever witnessed.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that. I'm pretty sure, like, for the first 3 months, they were like either one of them was leading every offensive category for the NL.
Yeah,
Like, you go down the list, it's either Belly or Yelich. And Yelich, I mean, he's still good, but he's definitely gone downhill since that season. So, but yeah, dude, that race was insane.
yeah. And now to see how, honestly, how bad these guys are playing right now and the last 2 years, really, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Bellinger's not putting up those numbers, but he's definitely. I feel like he's off to a better start this year
Yeah, for sure.
than the past couple of years. So who knows? Maybe next year Belly can recreate that MVP run.
I doubt it.
Hey,
I'll go ahead and say it now.
you're right because that's next year's Michael Harris's year.
Facts. All right, Colin. Anything else you've got for the people?
I think we covered about everything, man. I had a lot of fun on this episode.
All right. That's going to do it for us. Make sure you check out Friday's episode. We're going to be releasing our mock drafts and all next week. That draft coverage to look forward to. It's going to do it for us. Peace.
Later.